We are standing in front of the former house of Tony and Clarice Accardo. He was one of the most iconic organized crime leaders in the history of America. Tony Accardo ran Chicago and most of the country west of Chicago from 1943 to his death.
Until he died. Tony Accardo took over from Paul Ricca in the 40s, and they deported Paul Ricca. They maintained joint leadership for years until Paul Ricca passed away. And then Tony Accardo was the number one cheese for a long time.
Even when he tried to retire, he had the worst luck with finding replacements for Sam Giancana. It's almost like in Godfather 3, when Michael says, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
When he tried to retire, the guys that replaced him, although they weren't him and they were adequate replacements, one died, two were sent to the penitentiary. So he was forced back in to keep things going the way they were going. I don't think any other organized crime figure in history could meet the longevity. Never spent 20 minutes in jail. Never.
Indicted for tax evasion, charges got bounced. Everything else just went away. Some of the advice that he got from Paul Ricca, and that was keep yourself at arm's length. And that's when he started first appointing Sam Giancana as the front man. Sam took all the heat. Tony stayed behind the curtain.
Even when Sam Giancana, we'll throw those air quotes up there, was the boss, this guy was still the boss.
The big decisions came from Accardo. When Accardo was in charge, his reach was so far beyond the world of organized crime. And when a friend of his owned a jewelry store, and without sanction, some of Accardo's men robbed the jewelry store. And he made the robbers give the score back, and they were pissed.
Unprecedented.
They were so pissed that while Tony and Clarice Accardo were on vacation, these guys robbed the house.
This house.
And they went through Clarice Accardo's underwear drawer. There was no crime that could have been more disgraceful.
Everything was torn upside down. The fact that they were in her
Personal space
was enough to sign a death warrant for all 8 of them.
And not only were they killed, they were simultaneously shot, stabbed, and strangled. They were killed brutally.
They found them laying all over the suburbs.
Over a period of 2-3 months. This one's in a trunk, that one's in an alley, and it was all shot, stabbed, strangled, brutally.
Yeah, they weren't just taken out of the picture. They were made to pay for what they did in a way that us normal people can't even imagine.
Dad grew up among what we call post-Capone Chicago mobsters. And when Tony Accardo passed away in 1992, then we had the next generation of post-Accardo mobsters. We had guys like Joe the Clown Lombardo,
Johnny No-Nos DeFranzo,
who
were classmates of my dad from the time grade school through high school. And those guys pretty much were in charge jointly. 2 different factions, John DeFranzo being from Elmwood Park and Joe, of course, being from Grandin, Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Those guys pretty much were in control until the Family Secrets trial.
In 2008.
When everybody went to jail.
When Tony and Clarice Accardo lived here, their barbecues brought a who's who from every layer of Chicago society. There would be celebrities, preachers, judges, politicians. Everybody came to enjoy the Accardo's hospitality. Clarice Accardo was a terrific hostess. She used to host afternoon vodka club meetings, she called them, and the wives of all his people would come to this house and get juiced up in the afternoon and probably share stories that would have made the FBI's ears ring, the kind of stuff that they could only talk about with women who lived in the same world. And one of them was her very good friend, Mamie Cerrone, who was Skip's wife. And Skip was like the older brother my father never had. Mamie was a pistol. She was the only person on the planet who could tell a mob boss to go f*** himself. And he would take it and go f*** himself. She was funny, she was profane, she was loving, she was generous. She was a former Ziegfeld girl. We have some great pictures of her dancing with Jimmy Durante. She was a fashion model in the 20s. We joke that, gangsters and showgirls are like a peanut butter and chocolate combination. She and Skip were constantly in our orbit at our table, and she was done being a Ziegfeld girl. She was done being a model. She just became a wife. I guess you could say she became a mob wife.
And a mother.